Good morning, 6th grade social studies. Today is Thursday, October 22nd. We're going to be studying reincarnation in the caste system today. The question we are going to answer in this lesson is, how did reincarnation in the caste system affect people in India? Before we get started, we have a review question. Do you remember that Hinduism likely formed as a combination of beliefs of the people of the Indus Valley and the Aryan nomads? What is it called when two groups of people mix their beliefs like this? I gave you a hint by giving you the first word of the question, cultural. Go ahead and fill in the next word. Pause the video now to do this. All right, that's correct. It is cultural diffusion. Please read along as I read the passage out loud, answering the questions when I tell you to pause. The social structure of India comes from the religious beliefs of Hinduism. This social structure is called the caste system. It is a very strict social structure, and while people lived, they could never move up or down in the caste. In your own words, describe the caste system. Pause the video to do this now. The only way to move from caste to caste was to be reincarnated, which means to be born again after you die. What does it mean to be reincarnated? Pause the video to answer this now. Hindus believe that after you die, you are reincarnated into a higher or lower caste. If you were a good person, you had good karma, and you would move up in caste. If you did bad things while you lived, you had bad karma, and you would move down to a lower caste. You could even be born as a beetle or snake if you were really bad. If you had good karma for many lifetimes, you could eventually reach enlightenment, and you wouldn't have to be born again at all. You would reach moksha, or state of perfection. Question number 3 asks, how did karma help decide a person's place in the caste system? Provide evidence from the text to support your answer. Pause the video to do this now. Each caste had a clearly defined role. At the top of the caste system were the Brahmin, and the Kshatriya. The Brahmin were the priests, teachers, and judges who understood the spiritual laws that govern the universe. The Kshatriya were the warrior caste who made everyday decisions and ran the government. They were warrior kings. The Vaishyas were skilled farmers and merchants. They occasionally had leadership positions in local villages. The unskilled workers were the Sudras caste. Members of the Sudras caste often worked on the farms of the people of higher castes. And at the bottom of the caste system were people called the Dalit. These untouchables or outcasts were traditionally regarded as unsuitable for personal relations with people who belonged to a caste. Untouchables were hired to do work that members of the caste system would not do. These jobs included killing or disposing of dead cattle or working with their hides. Since the Dalits, or the untouchables, were below the caste system, it was believed that they would have no way to be reincarnated into a higher caste. This was a very hopeless life. The Dalit, or untouchables, were at the very bottom of society. They worked as sweepers, washers, or in other jobs that required contact with human waste. The last question asks, why was it so hopeless to be a member of the Dalit class? Pause the video to answer this now.